Hello and welcome to UIW's presentation on veterans and military students. My name is Julie Weber and I am the Director of Marketing and Recruitment for the Extended Academic Programs here at University of the Incarnate Word. I have Adriana and David with me and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm David De La Fuente. I'm a current student at UIW. I actually served 12 years active duty in the Navy, and I'm a current Navy reservist. My study is business administration, and I'm actually at work study at the VA office here on campus.
Hi, and I'm Adriana Leal. I'm the Director for the Center of Veterans Affairs here at UIW, and I've been working for the university for about 5 years.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the University of the Incarnate Word, and I'm going to start way back when we were founded in 1881 here in San Antonio. A group of nuns from the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word came to San Antonio to help with a cholera epidemic. As that cholera epidemic took in resources, they had hospitals, which is one of the missions of the Sisters of Charity, and they also ended up educating the individuals from the cholera epidemic. Families had children, children needed education, and they extended to forming a university here in San Antonio. We are now the largest Catholic university in Texas. We're also the fourth largest private school in Texas. A couple of facts about our university. We're the first nursing school west of the Mississippi. Healthcare really factors quite a large portion of our studies. We have both a traditional campus for traditional undergrad and graduates as well as doctoral students, and we have a very robust adult learner program. We also have facilities in Mexico and study abroad programs. Our professional programs, as I said, we deal a lot with healthcare. Our professional programs include nursing, optometry, pharmacy, physical therapy, and we're opening a medical school this year. One of the little-known facts about our campus is that the headwaters of the San Antonio River are right at the heart of our campus. So we're very much centered on San Antonio and the community. When you start looking at the culture of University of the Incarnate Word, you're going to see that we're very much a military-friendly type of environment. In fact, San Antonio is known as Military City, USA. We were the first university campus in San Antonio to have a Center for Veterans Affairs. That's what Adriana works with, and we make sure that our military students get lots of different advantages, whether they're active duty, veterans, or dependents of veterans or active duty. So we do things such as have specific orientations for them and family events. We also collaborate quite closely with the military facilities in San Antonio. We have a number of posts and bases in San Antonio. Joint Base San Antonio includes Fort Sam Houston, which is about a mile from our campus. And with all of the medical facilities there, we definitely have a close collaboration with them. There are also several other bases and reserve areas within the San Antonio area. So we're constantly doing things like participating in Celebrate America's Military, which is part of our Chamber, San Antonio Chamber's events to recognize the military heritage and the military impact on San Antonio. We also are involved in an organization called Our Community Salutes, which recognizes high school students who are going to be enlisting in military service. Approximately 17% of our student body is using military benefits in one way or another. When you look at how our university is judged for the military benefits that we have, we stack up very well. We're noted in many different organizations for being a military-friendly and a best choice for veterans. As you can see from the chart here, we have recognition from GI Jobs, from Military Advanced Education, Military Times, and we're noted for not only the things that we do for military and veteran students, but for particular programs, including our business schools, which is another very prominent type of educational programs that we have here in San Antonio at University of the Incarnate Word. When you start looking at our programs, I'm going to focus today on programs that are set up for our professionals. And we'll talk a little bit later about the programs that we have for our more traditional students, focusing on those that we have for students who are veterans or active duty military, who are working full-time or maybe looking to go to school part-time as they complete a degree, or maybe progress forward for a graduate degree. Some of the programs that are most popular are our undergraduate programs. We have certificate programs, associate's, and bachelor's degrees. And those core areas that people are interested in are healthcare, business, and education. Degree completion is definitely important. Many of our active duty, many of our veterans have started a degree. They've been many places around the country in their military service. And just like David, who served 12 years, lots of times starting at one school, going to another school, am I right?
That's correct.
And then wanting to land and complete a degree. UIW is very open to helping those students and welcoming those students to come in and do that. We have many graduate programs, doctoral programs, and of course the professional programs that we talked about earlier. When we start looking at some of the different programs in specifics in those degrees that you may be looking to complete, we have an Associate of Science in Health Science. We have 3 different specializations. There's a general one where you can take some of the credits from military training or occupational and technical credits and bring that in. We have one that's in administration. We also have another for nutrition. We take those same specializations and use them for a Bachelor's of Science. We look at these as stackable degrees. So if you come in and start with an associate, that will roll straight into the Bachelor's of Science in Health Science. We look at that administration degree and we provide the opportunity for someone with a healthcare interest to look at earning the education needed to be able to sit in the future for 5 different certificates. Very helpful for someone looking to move along a pathway and increasing their education and job opportunities as well. Moving on into healthcare, we have a registered nurse to Bachelor's of Science degree. We see many people coming out who are already registered nurses looking to finish that degree. This degree is very helpful for that individual and is completely online for them. Our Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration has 7 different concentrations. We're going to hear a little bit more about what David's been doing with that degree. And that is one of the degrees that we have people do everything from working with a general business administration degree to marketing to management. It's a very helpful degree to let people choose a specialty. That may even be finance or accounting for them. We also go into a Bachelor's of Arts in Human Resources for that person who's interested in working with the human talent of a company and being able to work with those individuals within an organization. Those interested in organizational development are interested in helping to make changes and to facilitate organizations to lead change, to help with training. Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences is a great degree for that person coming in with many technical, occupational types of credits that they have, and they're wanting to roll that up and to become someone who has a bachelor's degree and can go out and continue along maybe a promotion track. Bachelor's of Arts in Administration is well set up for that individual who may have started with a community college, may have started on a path, completed an associate's degree, and then decided to kind of change what they're going to do. Really helps them to move more into a business area. So that degree is very helpful for them. They can take those associate credits in one area and roll them into a minor degree. When we look at the next set of degrees that we have, we're looking at those professional degrees for an individual looking at a graduate level offering. So our professional Master's of Business Administration is incredibly popular, especially with those individuals, again, looking for promotion in the military or looking to take their credits that they've already earned and move them into a marketable master's degree. perhaps promotion within their own organization. We have 3 specializations with that: data analytics, human resources, and trying to think of that other one that we have. Asset management, that's right. So lots of different flexibility with that, ability to be able to take your interest and build on those business backgrounds and continue on. The other degree that we have that's incredibly popular is our Master's of Science in Organizational Development and Leadership. For that individual who wants to go in, lead change, lead organizations, this is a very helpful degree. Those individuals with a more established career can often even look at bringing in credits from higher level training within the military. We allow up to 12 hours, should you have those on your military transcript at the graduate level, could be transferred in. Our Master's of Arts in Administration has 5 concentrations. That degree is one that is very versatile for individuals and allows them to expand into several different areas of concentration. And finally, we have a Master's of Arts in Teacher Leadership. That Master's of Arts in Teacher Leadership doesn't allow them to become a principal, but is for that person who is looking to expand in the educational field, become a lead teacher. We also have over 80 degrees in the traditional format on our main campus. Everything from fashion to other nursing to kinesiology to business degrees, many degrees that are available for those individuals who are able to take classes at a traditional pace, a 16-week program during the day, and to be able to perhaps use their benefits for their dependents. A couple of benefits as we start talking about the benefits of UIW and the programs. One of the greatest benefits that we have is that our active duty military members are able to come to school at the tuition cap, $250 per credit hour, and that's available whether they are taking classes in our traditional format or in our format for adult learners. There are no fees in the adult learner program, and that discount includes both undergraduate and graduate rates. Someone who is looking at the veteran rate does have a special rate in the adult learner program and has a discount then on the traditional programs on main campus. There are no out-of-pocket expenses for active duty military, and the discount for dependents isn't the discount for our veterans and active duty isn't dependent on whether or not they are using benefits. That's such a wonderful benefit for them to be able to utilize that rate.
It is.
Once we're looking at the adult learner programs, there are free textbooks for all of our undergraduates. The active duty students also have free textbooks in the graduate programs. So that helps to make it a no out-of-pocket expense for our active duty. And the other thing to look at is that if military training has included ACE evaluated courses, we'll be able to look at that for you as well. So we want to make sure that all the benefits that we have, that we can utilize each of those benefits for individuals. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits for our active duty. When we look at active duty benefits, those are the $250 rate. For our veterans, we're looking at a rate of $275 per credit hour, and that is available for the active duty dependents, active duty veterans, and that's their discount for that rate. That discount also includes undergraduate and graduate, not dependent on their benefits. So whether you're using the benefit or not, that rate is there. So active duty dependents, I want to make sure that that's clear. It's for active duty dependents or for veterans. And we are able to help them with deferred billing so that as they're using benefits, they'll be able to utilize their benefits for the payment for their tuition. We are a yellow ribbon school, and I'm going to let Adriana speak to that in just a moment. And the free books for undergraduates also apply to our veterans and active duty dependents. And of course, we have a very generous transfer policy for any evaluated coursework from regionally accredited universities. We'll be able to help students look at that on their transcripts and be able to help them know what will come in for them. Few of the students we work with also have programs where they perhaps use a company called Straighter Line and have been able to take coursework from them. Those are things that we can bring in as well. Adriana, tell us a little bit about UIW as a yellow ribbon school and what that means to a veteran.
Yes, UIW, what that means to you is if you are using Post 9/11 GI Bill, Chapter 33, the VA has an annual cap of what they will pay in tuition and fees. And when you exceed that cap, that's where yellow ribbon comes into play. And what that is the VA will pay half of that difference, and UIW will match the other half. And what that means to you when we say there is no cap is that as long as you're exceeding that annual cap, UIW will match up to whatever that is. Some schools will limit what they will match, but UIW does not. So that's a wonderful thing to take advantage of. Being a UIW student veteran, you have the opportunity to connect to various resources here. Our Center for the Veterans Affairs hosts many events throughout the year. For example, we always host a welcome back pizza party at the start of a semester. And this is the time where student veterans will come together, interact and connect with their fellow student veterans and pick up some food and pizza and have a great time at the start of the semester. We also have a Student Veterans Association here on campus, and they meet regularly. Again, it's an opportunity to connect and interact with them. One of the great things that they do is they get together and perform community service projects together. If you're an undergraduate student, community service is a requirement. And so that's a great way to do it with your fellow student veterans, and their dependents as well can participate in the Student Veterans Association. We also have a great career center here at UIW, so you want to have your resume looked at and some suggestions input in. You as a military student would have so much relevant experience, and we have people here on campus that are devoted to making that shine for you. And they can look at your resume and give you some great input. They can also give you some great career counseling and guidance for what you're looking to do to further your education. We also have a great counseling center here at UIW, so if that's something you want to take advantage of, completely free to you, and it's on a walk-in basis. Beyond just processing your benefits, our Center for Veterans Affairs is here for you to connect you to various community resources available for veterans. There are so many resources out there that you might not be aware of, and we are made aware of those resources, and we'd be happy to connect you to them. So you call or you come into our office, and if you ever have a question, we'll be happy to connect you with those resources.
Great. Thank you, Adriana. We want to talk a little bit about what a cost would look like for one of our degrees. So I'm going to show what it looks like if we were completing a professional MBA. Our professional MBA is a great program because within 10 months, less than a year, someone can start and finish that degree. The professional MBA is 10 classes, and looking at this chart here, you'll see the active duty rate. If someone was going to start, let's say fall 1, they took 2 classes per term, and our terms are 8 weeks, that would be 6 hours. At $250 a credit hour, their tuition is going to be $1,500. That's going to be covered by their tuition assistance. Now, if someone was not available to utilize tuition assistance, the rate would still be the $1,500. As you look at that, going through 5 terms, they would be able to complete 10 classes, 30 hours for $7,500 and be able to complete an MBA. A veteran doing the same thing would be able to complete that same degree, $275 per credit hour, and that professional MBA would be available to them at the cost of $8,250. They'd be able to utilize their benefits And because benefits are based on amount of time rather than by term or by hour, that's going to help them to be able to complete that quickly. So if you're someone who has benefits and you're looking to perhaps use them for yourself and then take maybe the remainder and use them for one of your dependents, this would be a way to be able to do both those things for you. I want to talk a little bit about our formats too, because in the adult learner programs, we have two different options. We have a classroom option. We have 5 San Antonio classrooms, 1 in Corpus Christi, and 1 in the Killeen-Fort Hood area. We also have classes available online and hybrid, meaning that some classes can be online, some classes can be in the classroom. So yes, that's a question we often get. Can I do both? And we have also worked with competency-based education, and we continue to roll out more of the competency-based education formats. Still getting a few of those classes in place, but we're gradually moving more and more to that. Our classes are in 8-week terms, as I said earlier, and we have 6 per year. So people can start and continue on. It's nice. A class will start and be going for 8 weeks, end on a Friday, and on Saturday, classes start again for the next term. So it kind of keeps you going and keeps you moving. Now, I know, David, you said that you were taking classes. Have you taken any online, or have they all been on the classroom?
They have all been in classroom.
Great.
With UIW.
And have you taken them just from one of our centers, or have you gone to different centers?
I have gone to different centers.
That's great. And so that makes it convenient for you, doesn't it?
Yes.
So whether it's convenient to home or maybe to work, it allows you to move around and do that. If David chose, he could also take some classes. If those classes are available and offered in that term, he could take them online at the same time. Our traditional campus is in the heart of San Antonio. Many of the people on our seminar today or watching later in an on-demand broadcast may also be in the San Antonio area, and that may be convenient to them. But we have many of our degrees that are available online. So no matter where you are, start in San Antonio, move out of town, you're still going to have the ability to be available to you by taking classes in an online format. And our online format extends to many of the different degree programs. There are a couple that would be more tailored and more suited to a classroom, and so we do have students who like to do that from time to time. Math is a very popular course that people like to take in a classroom. Let's talk a little bit about our faculty, because that's an important part no matter what you're doing. The faculty are the people who you're going to connect with, and you'll see that many of our faculty are retired military or perhaps dependents of military members. Many are scholar practitioners. I've been asked, what's a scholar practitioner in the past? And a scholar practitioner is somebody who has been in the field in which they're teaching. They may actively be working in that field. An example would be someone who works in an HR office and then teaches HR. We have many in the accounting field who do the same thing. It helps keep them very current in the field and make sure that they can understand those issues from a day-to-day life of what's happening in that field of study. We have class sizes that are small. That's an important thing when you're trying to relate to a faculty member. 14:1 is our class size, and we also do have the ability for students to withdraw should they need to go TDY or they get deployed. So that's something that's always important, to be able to have that military-friendly ability to withdraw because of military orders. When we start looking at some of the resources, Adrienne, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the resources that may be most popular to our veterans and military members.
Yes, there are many resources, one of which is we have a great library here at UIW. So whether you're here locally on campus or you are a distance learner taking classes completely online, we have a great library that can connect with you completely online. You have access to research librarians, and you have access to online research material. So that's a great convenience for you, especially if you're completely doing your degree online. Again, our office, the Center of Veterans Affairs, is available to you for whatever you need, not just processing your benefits, but we can always guide you and point you in the right direction, because trust me, your question is not the first that's ever been asked. We also have something called DegreeWorks, which is a great online tool to track your progress that you're making on your degree. You can see what classes that you've completed and what classes have transferred in and what classes you have remaining to complete your degree. This is really important for you as your benefits that you use, it's based on time, and it gives you a great tool to really plan out your schedule and your year to complete your degree. Again, as I mentioned, we have a great career services center here that can give you so much valuable information and help, and it's something that you should definitely take advantage of. We also have a lot of great staff, from faculty to people in the Center for Veterans Affairs that are trained in military benefits and programs, and that are a great resource to you and always available to talk to. One of which is David, who is a work study at the Center for Veterans Affairs, and he's been a work study there since 2015. David, can you talk a little bit about your experience at UIW?
So basically, as a student, before I started working at the Veterans Affairs, like Julie said earlier, I like the small classroom size with the students and the professors that we have. There is more of a one-on-one kind of learning experience. So if you ever have a question, you can answer it, ask it, and get a great answer. And of course, the participation in the class, since it's such a small size. So that was a big experience thing for me.
They really get to know you, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And David, what prompted you to make the decision to come back to school?
I've always wanted to pursue a higher education. I was doing it while I was on active duty, and when I got out, I just wanted to continue going. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I know I want to continue with my master's and possibly a PhD, because as I continue my military service, I know it'll help me out in the long run.
And how do you feel that your military experience helped you in furthering your education?
Being in the military for 12 years and, in the reserves, it actually gave me the discipline so that I can structure, my study time with my social life and then working. So it actually made me balance all three with being a full-time student.
Great.
So when you're in the Center for Veterans Affairs and you're talking with students, as a veteran yourself, I'm sure it makes it a lot easier to be able to talk to them and understand the things that are challenges to them.
That's correct. A lot of them feel that we have the commonality with our military service, so they know that it's just not somebody that has never served in the military before. So we have that commonality.
And Adriana, I believe that your office is staffed with multiple student veteran assistants. Is that correct?
Yes. Almost all our work studies are veterans themselves or dependents, and the full-time staff there as well, and we have part-timers too, are veterans themselves, and so they can really relate. They've used their benefits too, or they have transferred their benefits to their children, so they know exactly how it works.
That's great. Great. Well, the next question we often get from people after we've talked about UIW and the things that we see as benefits and things we offer that might work for them is, how do I get started? So if you're looking to get started, whether it's the traditional program or whether it's our adult learner program, is to submit an application. We're here to help you in the admissions side, and we're going to work with you as you go through that process. Questions that you may have, wanting to know what to put on the application, we're here to help you with that. We've streamlined our applications so they're very concise. It takes about 10, 15 minutes at the most to fill it out, and that's only if you might not have a date that you have to go look up for when you perhaps started school or graduated from high school. And if you're someone who is active duty or if you're utilizing tuition benefits from the Army, the one difference is that you would need to go to the Go Army Ed site in order to be able to fill out that application. All other branches of the service, veterans, dependents, would fill out the application online. We then take and review all official transcripts that you've submitted, so make sure you start collecting those right away, because the sooner your official transcripts are in, the sooner our registrar can look at them, and then the DegreeWorks tool that we talked about becomes helpful to you, because we can't put that information into DegreeWorks until we get your official transcripts. After we've gotten your transcripts, our admissions team will review the application and the transcripts. We'll be corresponding with you all along the way. Then we'll send you an admissions decision via email. And after that, we'll also recommend classes for you to get started. The Adult Learner Program will suggest the first couple of classes for you and give you information on how to register. After that, your academic advisor will be contacting you, and you'll start on that journey to finishing or completing a degree. A couple of other things you might want to consider are now how to use your veteran benefits. Adriana, can you help us with that?
Yes, sure. So to start using your VA benefits, the first step is to apply to UIW either with the extended academic programs or here at main campus. The next step would be to determine your eligibility and benefit type with the Department of Veterans Affairs. You can do this in two ways. You can either apply online, and the website is listed there on the PowerPoint presentation, or you can call the VA as well. Once you apply, you'll receive what they call a certificate of eligibility. That certificate of eligibility gives us your benefit type and your eligibility percentage. That is one of the documents that you will need to turn into us, which brings me to step number 3. Step number 3, there are several documents you would need to turn into our office. You can either email them to us or come into our office and bring it in. One of those, like I said, is that certificate of eligibility. You also might need to fill out a Form 1995 or 5495. These are VA change of program or place of training forms that you need to fill out, and we can submit that for you to the VA. We would also need your DD-214, member 4 or 2, or if you are active duty, we would need a copy of your current orders or a recent LES statement. And the final step is to complete the veteran certification form online through our My Work portal. This is the only step that you must complete every semester for certification. It basically gives us permission to use your benefits for that semester. And it's as easy as that.
Great, and they'll be able to get access to the My Word portal after they have been accepted and admitted for that first term or first semester, correct?
Correct, yes.
Great, great. When we start looking at what people need to do for the next steps, it always raises a question. So if you have a question, please feel free to put it into our chat area, and we're happy to answer some of those questions. But I'm going to give you a couple of pieces of information here on how you can reach us. For the extended academic programs, which is our adult learner area, we have 2 phone numbers on the screen. One is a toll-free number, one's a local number. We're happy to set up a time to meet with you in person, maybe to do a Skype or perhaps even a phone call. You can email us, or you might want to look at one of our websites. The active duty military website with the benefits for each different branch of service is available at military.uiw.edu. And Adriana has information for the veterans.
Yes, you'll see our contact information for the Center for Veterans Affairs. That's our phone number there if you want to call us and we can answer your questions, or email us as well. I'd really encourage you to take a look at our website, which you see on the screen. That has a multitude of information for you, what I just discussed, the steps that you need to take to apply for benefits, some of the resources I mentioned, a little bit more about Yellow Ribbon, and graduation there for you. So I'd really encourage you to take a look at that website.
And I know you work hard to keep that website up to date with all the most recent information, so I would echo that as well. I'm going to look and see if there are any particular questions that we have, and we have one here. Are there any medical school guarantees or incentives for UIW undergraduate students? Our medical school is just getting started, so they're looking at those opportunities for helping our students go through. Let me talk about a program we do have in place for pharmacy, and they always continually look at bringing students up through the ranks that way. So our pharmacy school, well established, is putting people on a pre-pharm track. So those individuals start at UIW, and they have that ability to start their education as an undergrad and then seamlessly move into the pharmacy program. In doing that type of a program, they're able to get an incentive to be able to move on to the pharmacy school, be accepted early as they go along that path. Of course, all along that path, there are touch points of making sure that their educational level is matching the requirements, but it does help them to move along that. The medical school looks at those opportunities as well. At this point, they will be determining all of those opportunities, and I would suggest reaching out to our medical school admission staff, and we'll also take the name and information for that particular question and reach out to you as well with additional information.
Can I add to that one incentive is this is where Yellow Ribbon comes into play, because when you go into your professional schools, the cost is naturally going to be a lot higher. So being that we have no cap as a Yellow Ribbon school, if you're using your benefits, the cost, if you're 100%, you have 100% eligibility, would be completely covered.
That's a great benefit for that. As we look at some of our other questions that we get asked, one of the most common questions that we get asked when we're out talking to students is, can I use my GI Bill if I'm active duty right now?
Yes, you can. A lot of people think that you cannot, but you can use your GI Bill if you are active duty. I would encourage you first to contact, if you are active duty, to contact your education office and to try to use the TA route first, because that is a better rate, the $250 per credit hour, and UIW matches that rate of $250 per credit hour with TA. So I'd encourage you to look at that first. And if that is not an option, you can also use your VA benefits as well.
Great. Another question we get asked a lot is, what about financial aid? If I'm using the GI Bill, can I use financial aid too?
Yes, you can, and we encourage everybody to do a FAFSA every year to see what they qualify for. When we are billing the VA, we do not include any of that financial aid information. So let's say, for example, you have 100% eligibility with your VA benefits. If you qualify for a Pell Grant and the VA has fully covered your costs, you could get that refunded back to you for living expenses. So you can use them both.
And that's definitely the expense of going to school.
Yes.
The question that we had now is that our School of Professional Studies has classes in the Northeast location that are 1 day per week, 2 hours and 10 minutes, and some blended classes. Let me read the rest of that. So the question there is about residency and whether or not that housing stipend would be earned, whether it was at the half rate and applied to online courses. Now, I know that y'all get asked that question a lot, and in fact, it's one that we had just the other day. So someone taking adult learner classes, they're taking some in class, they may take one online,
right,
looking at the terms. How is that housing benefit going to be utilized for them?
Yes, so for their BAH, you must be considered more than half-time to qualify for that. And so since the School of Professional Studies and School of Applied Sciences has 8-week terms, you would need to be taking 6 hours. So that is usually 2 classes. Now, as far as your question for the online blended and residence courses, to receive your full BAH, you would want to be in at least one class that's fully in classroom, residential, and then one of those classes could be online or blended. Now, if you decide to go completely online, then you would need to take 2 classes completely online, but your BAH stipend would be reduced half.
Now, if I understand the question here, and one that I had that was similar the other day was, does that class need to meet twice a week or once a week in classroom, or does that matter?
It doesn't matter. If it's blended at all, it's considered distance learning anyway.
Okay, but if they're in a in-classroom class, does it matter if that class meets one time per week, or does the class need to meet 2 times per week? Is that any kind of a differentiator?
That doesn't matter as long as it's all classroom.
Okay, great. So as long as the class is completely in classroom.
Yeah, so it can meet twice a week, or it can meet once a week for 4 hours, as long as it's all in classroom.
Great. Perfect. I know that when we look at bringing in credits and how credits transfer, that's another thing that people ask a lot. David, I'm sure that when you came in, you mentioned you had other credits.
Yes.
And so what did you do when you came in? You obviously had credits that were transferring in.
So when I transferred into UIW, I had just finished my associate's degree in general studies. And so between that and my military transcripts, UIW did transfer most of my credits. So I was considered a senior from the get-go.
That's
and
great.
All I had to do was complete the core requirements, and then everything that was particular with my major.
Perfect, perfect. So that certainly is helpful. Students will come in and will be available to have their transcripts reviewed by the admissions counselors to let them get a quick glimpse of an unofficial review of those before they get started. I know that there are questions out there about would we be able to have this slideshow available for future reference. Yes, we will. We're going to be posting this slideshow on our website. It'll be available as a link from the Veterans website as well. And it'll probably be up, I'm assuming, probably in the next 3 to 5 days. So that'll be up and available, so you'll be able to see it online as well as this presentation. And I see we have one more question. That's great. We're happy to talk to everybody. Let me see. I think that's it. Did I miss one of the questions there?
It's asking if he takes 2 classes per semester with EAP, will it cost less than $21,970 a year? Will he not need the Yellow Ribbon program?
Yes, that's correct. If it costs less than that, then yes, you won't even need to use Yellow Ribbon. And Yellow Ribbon is only for Chapter 33, and it's only if you're 100% and you cannot be active duty. So if you're not 100%, or if you are active duty, this is where it does come into play. Because the cost is such a great low cost at EAP, a lot of people don't even need to use Yellow Ribbon, but it is there if you need it.
And one other thing, you can't be using a prize scholarship as well. That's
Correct.
The other addition.
Yes.
Be using what?
Prize scholarship.
Oh, yes. So it's a nice benefit to be able to know that the adult education programs won't push somebody over into that Yellow Ribbon area. So definitely a benefit for students. As we wrap up today, I definitely want to thank David and Adriana for being here with us. Know that at UIW we are here and available to help you out. We have one of our admissions counselors who's been chatting along with you. The email address of eapadmission@uiwtx.edu is available. We also have our phone number, so please take advantage of that and contact us. We're happy to help you along as you make your decision to continue your education. Thank you so much and have a great day.